The car is a symphony of metal, friction, and pressurized fluids. But most people crank the radio until the final movement, the one where a piston exits the block through the hood. Before the engine seizes or the wheel falls off, your vehicle speaks a specific language of 9 distinct noises. And if you ignore them, you'll be walking past the pile of abandoned cars that didn't listen. This is not about being a mechanic. This is about hearing the difference between a harmless squeak and a death rattle that gives you exactly 3 seconds to react. Subscribe so you never miss this. Stay for number 9. The sound that means you are about to lose control of the steering, and it's not a squeal. Number 1. The muffled squeak or chirp from the engine bay. It sounds like a nest of baby birds trapped under the hood, and it changes pitch with engine speed. This is a serpentine belt slipping. The rubber has glazed, or the tensioner is weak. When that belt snaps, you lose the alternator, the water pump, and the power steering pump simultaneously. The battery light hits immediately. The heat spikes, and the steering turns to concrete. The chirp is a $30 fix. The snapped belt is a stranded nightmare. Number 2. The rhythmic clicking that speeds up on turns. A metallic click, 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 louder when you turn left or right. This is a worn CB joint. The constant velocity joint boot has torn, dirt has invaded, and the grease has vacated. It tells you it's failing by screaming during turns. If ignored, the joint separates completely, and the drive shaft drops. The wheel stops receiving power or locks entirely. The click is your deadline. Number 3. The deep, low growl or hum that gets louder with speed. It sounds like a distant freight train, and it doesn't change when you rev the engine, only when the car moves faster. This is a failing wheel bearing. The bearing race is pitted. It's grinding hardened steel against itself. Eventually, it superheats and welds the hub where the wheel studs shear, and the tire assembly departs the vehicle. The growl is a mechanical amputation warning. Number 4. The high-pitched metallic screech. When braking, it sounds like fingernails on a blackboard, but only when you press the pedal. This is the brake pad wear indicator. A small metal tab is grazing the rotor, screaming for attention before the pad material vanishes entirely. Ignore it, and the tab digs deeper until the backing plate bites the rotor. Braking distance doubles, then fails. The screech is the cheapest repair you will ever make. The grinding that follows writes off the car. Number 5. The loud, roaring exhaust that sounds like a gunshot. Your car suddenly sounds like a dragster. The roar is coming from underneath, not the tailpipe. A flex pipe has cracked, the catalytic converter has been stolen, or the manifold has rusted through. Beyond the deafening noise, exhaust gases, carbon monoxide, enter the cabin. You get drowsy, then unconscious. The roar is not just a nuisance, it's a silent, odorless gas leak screaming in the language of noise. Number 6. The hiss under acceleration, or after shutoff. A sharp, rapid hiss when you give it gas, or a snake-like sigh when you kill the engine. This is a vacuum leak, or a cooling system breach. A vacuum leak destabilizes the air-fuel mixture, causing stalling, hesitation, and a lean condition that melts pistons. A cooling system hiss means coolant is spraying on a hot block. The temperature gauge might look normal until it spikes into the red a second before the radiator explodes. The hiss is a pressure vessel bleeding out. Number 7. The single, sharp, mechanical pop during a hard turn. It's not a gunshot, but it sounds like a ball joint snapping. A loud, singular bang or pop when you turn the wheel, especially at low speed. This is a coil spring failure or a ball joint separating. The suspension collapses onto the tire. At speed, you lose steering instantly. The pop is the sound of your front corner giving up. Number 8. The ticking from the top of the engine that matches RPM. A rapid tap 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 that rises and falls with the throttle. This is lifter tick, or a loose rocker arm subassembly. It means oil isn't reaching the top end, or a component is loose. If it stops suddenly, it doesn't mean it healed. It means the part snapped and is now rattling freely in the head, looking to embed itself in a piston crown. The tick is a countdown to a ventilated block. Number 9. The groaning or creaking from the steering wheel itself. Not the tires squealing. A dry, heavy creak that feels rough through your hands when you turn. This is a failing power steering pump starving for fluid, or dry ball joints in the steering column. If the pump seizes, the serpentine belt snaps immediately. If the steering knuckle seizes, you cannot turn the wheels. The groan is the language of a system about to lock solid at 60 miles an hour. Here is the reality. The dealership doesn't want you to know. Your car doesn't break down without warning. It screams for help for weeks or months before the final abandonment. The chirps, the clicks, the growls, the hisses, they are a diagnostic language written by engineers, translated by physics, and spoken constantly. Most people drown it out with podcasts and highway noise until the oil light comes on and the engine seizes. You will turn down the radio once a week. You will listen to the symphony of your machine. You will catch the early notes of failure before the final crash, and you will never be found dead on the side of the road in a world that just ran out of tow trucks. Now drop a comment and tell me this. What sound is your car making right now that you've been ignoring? Describe the noise. Describe when it happens. And if you don't know what it is, someone in the comments will diagnose it before you turn the key tomorrow morning. Then go buy the $30 belt tensioner this weekend, because the symphony is playing and the last movement is always a tow truck. I'll see you there.